Hey guys, it's Sammy, aka Not the Last Guy on Earth. Today's video is mainly going to be on the patch notes, which have recently been out today on Xbox 360 or possibly last night, I'm not sure. And I believe PlayStation 3's already had it, and Wii U and PC, if they haven't already got it, they will be there soon. Also, in addition to that, they've also added microtransactions. Microtransactions, you say? What are they, Sammy? Well, I'm glad you asked, because apparently they're going to be adding little things in the game that don't really affect the gameplay so much, but give you cool stuff. Well, they say cool, like you can put bacon strips on the side of your gun. I have no idea why you want to do that. I'm a fan of bacon, you know, most people are, but do I really want to have it hanging off the side of my gun? I'm not so sure. But if you want it, you can have it on the side. There'll probably be other stuff too, I'm not sure what. Gun sights is also a thing I heard of. You can like different gun reticles. I'm quite happy with the normal red dot sight. You can also buy extra custom classes. So I guess there's also some good news for people who haven't bought Nuketown, because apparently that's now going to be free for everyone. Nuketown zombies can also be purchased for 400 points. On with the what they've actually done with the patch. I'm mainly going to focus on the gameplay balancing, but there's a couple of things that I think you'd probably want to hear about anyway. Okay, so from the multiplayer issues addressed, they've resolved select fire, reverting back to default settings after a round transition. Fixed a potential exploit using the trophy system. If you didn't know about that, people could basically rack up ridiculous amounts of XP just by it was something to do with hacking a trophy system and then someone destroying it and putting out a lodestar or something. But these people were just getting ridiculous amounts of XP, and they'd just constantly be calling kill streaks. So glad to see that's been patched up. What else we got here? Resolved an issue on drone with the automatic doors at the weapon plant would trigger to destroy lethal equipment. So if you didn't know about that, you could put a bit of C4 on the side of a door, and if the door would open, it would blow up. I really thought it was quite cool. I don't think it was really a big problem. I kind of like the addition. I guess I can see why they patched it, though. It doesn't really make sense why C4 would go off because a door would open, but who knows. And the next one, I thought it was intentional in the game, but they've basically stopped this so that when you throw C4 and bouncing betties at people, they no longer do impact damage. It says it was actually an issue, so I always assumed it was something that was supposed to happen, but apparently not. So you can no longer hurt people with them, unless of course they blow up. They fixed an issue where the combat axe would sometimes destroy the Guardian. I thought it was meant to. I thought it was meant to do a bit of damage, because I know I saw I've never done it myself, but I remember watching a Only Use Me Blade video about, well, when the game was first out, and he was stood behind it destroying it. So he's probably be a bit miffed at that. They fixed a couple of the spawns, so basically a load of jibber jabber what they've said, but they've basically changed the domination spawns, so you're more likely to spawn with your team and not spawn right next to the enemy. They've added more spawn points to Hijacked for Demolition and Kill Confirmed. I think really what they need to do is add more spawn points for free-for-all, because when you play in Sticks and Stones or gun game, it's ridiculous how close you spawn to people. But anyway, they also adjusted the spawn influence on the Standoff for improved spawn picking algorithms in all game modes. That level definitely needed something to sort out with spawns, because to be honest with you, you could get spawn trapped so easy. So I hope that's what they've done to address it. So for the SMGs, basically the two most powerful and overused SMGs, the MSMC and the PDW, have both been nerfed slightly. I have had a little go of the PDW, and I could see that its recoil has changed. So they've both had their recoil increased, and they've had their hipfire accuracy has been reduced. Alright, so I guess that would mean that it's less accurate. It sort of sounded like a buff there for a second. Yeah, I think they were in need of a slight nerf. Cap 40. The dual wield damage has been reduced, and the hipfire accuracy has been reduced. And I haven't really used them that much, the Cap 40 dual wielded, but compared to the FMG9s and any of the Black Ops, actually maybe not the Black Ops weapons, original Black Ops akimbo weapons weren't really that powerful. But I'm hoping they haven't nerfed it too hard, And it seems that if the B23R hasn't had a nerf, why is the Cat 40? I don't know. I'll have to have a go of it first before I comment any further. So, attachments. The millimeter scope. Cold-blooded now renders enemies almost completely immune to millimeter scope or scanner, whatever it's called. I guess that's more of a cold-blooded buff. QBB-LSW. The medium range damage has been increased, as well as the hammer. These are probably the two weakest LMGs in my opinion, so they probably... I don't know if they needed a buff or not, but I don't know, to be honest. They felt okay to me. QBB at least felt more like a close range sort of powerhouse, so we'll have to see how it performs now. The Fal&PDW and Select Fire has had its damage reduced when firing full auto. So is the SMR. To be honest with you, they were assault rifles and they were performing a little bit too well up close. The recoil, they added a lot of recoil to it, but it seems strange that the SWAT didn't had when it had Select Fire on, it was being nerfed somewhat, whereas the FAL and the SMR weren't. So maybe it'll be a bit more balanced, because I don't think the FAL was being used as it was in all the other games, where it's sort of an accuracy weapon. If you put Select Fire on it, you could sort of spam it. But we'll have to see how that one performs. Now, strangely, the Type 25 has had its move speed increased. So I don't know how fast it'll be able to move now. I guess it's not going to be moving as fast as an SMG. And it's also had its medium range damage increased. It's kind of strange, because I always thought the Peacekeeper felt, if you put lightweight on the Type 25 and laser sight, it basically felt like you had the Peacekeeper SMG, and they weren't really that different. So they've sort of made it a bit more like the Peacekeeper. So I'm not sure why they've done that, because the Type 85, I thought it was an alright weapon. What have we got here? Scar. Long range damage increased. I always thought the Scar was a powerful weapon. I've been using it quite a bit lately, and I've been surprised at the power. But the AN94 is apparently supposed to be a bit better. So maybe it was just to redress the balance, I guess. So the SWAT 556, long range damage increased. Yeah, I think I can see why it needed to be done, because it wasn't. I don't find it that good up close, and even at range, I wasn't getting the 3-shot kills I really wanted. So I think it definitely did need a buff there. So onto the shotguns. The M1216 has had its medium range damage increased. To be honest with you, I thought this was the best shotgun. It's my favourite shotgun out of all of them. And if anything needed a buff, I thought it would be the S12. But they went and made my favourite gun even more powerful. So would say I wouldn't complain about that, but I don't know. I really don't think it needed it. So hopefully they haven't made a mistake there, and hopefully it's not too big a buff. Onto the sniper rifles. Ballista and Iron Sight has had its idle sway reduced. The weapon. I am going to try and get the 500 kills with the Iron Sights at some point, but I can't really comment on what it was like before. But it is a horrible sight, though, to be honest. I can't really see what I'm aiming at, so anything to make it better, considering you've got to pay a point for it as well, I think is necessary. And finally, we've got the zombies issues that have been addressed. Resolved several issues with exploitable areas in the die rise. Probably just more simple fixes just to stop people getting out the maps. I haven't really played zombies too much in this, so I'm not too sure. Resolved several exploits in Green Run. More of the same, but on Green Run. Resolved network connectivity issues that could occur in the front end and lobbies. So I guess that's just behind the scenes sort of stuff. So anyway, guys, I hope this information has been useful to you. I'm looking forward to see what the microtransaction is going to offer. I'll always be covering all the patch notes as soon as I hear about them. So stick around if you're interested in seeing them. And I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.